Hey, everybody, we're going to be talking about supply chain shortages right now. I looked up just what's going on. I want to be able to bring you guys new things. And it looks like we have everything from zippers to glass shortages that we're running right now. I was reading through a few stories. I came across, yes, zippers. So if you want a pair of pants that close, you may want to go out and buy a pair of pants. Or maybe, you never know, they'll bring back the button fly. For you Gen Xers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing more classy than just a bunch of buttons in front of your pants. But, you know, everything from zippers to Velcro to even the glass that, you know, alcohol is stored in, it's becoming harder and harder to get a hold of supplies, which means companies are going to have a harder time producing goods to sell, which means they're going to be hurting. Their bottom line is going to be hurting. When you don't have anything to sell, you have issues. You know, it's one thing to have a bunch of product and being able to have the opportunity or the advantage of lowering your prices, changing your marketing, things like that. But when you don't have anything to sell and you have a lot of expenses when it comes to employment, payroll, rent, past liabilities, if you don't have anything to sell, you're in trouble. And we're starting to see that more and more. Now, something else that I saw, excuse me, it's not just supply chain issues that we're going to have issues with. It's also massive price increases that are coming in the next few months with food. And one of the things, I was reading a story out of Colorado where it was talking about Colorado farmers are hit with cost increases in things like pesticides, fertilizers, fuel. And it was a great quote. One of the farmers said in the story, he said, you know, we can't just turn off the lights and walk away. We're already invested in this. We've already, you know, planted our crop. We've already done things. So now what's happening is, you know, what they're normally used to, and they've already written contracts on a lot of these crops, they're getting pinched really, really hard. And so their margins are decreasing rapidly because their costs are going up. But then on the flip side, let's say there's certain farmers that don't have contracts out on their crops right now. They are immediately able to start raising the prices. And like I covered about a month ago with the Tyson Chicken CEO, where he says, we are literally trying to raise prices fast enough to essentially stay solvent. That's where I believe he was getting to. And he says, you know, it's hitting the wholesalers right now. And then it's going to hit the distributors. And, you know, there's a whole line there's all these middlemen, you know, from farm to table, there's all these middlemen. And he says eventually you're going to really see these price increases hit at the grocery stores because everybody's trying to stay competitive. And this is happening so rapidly. You know, we started talking about the supply chain shortage, well, back in the springtime. And this is evolving so fast. It's blowing my mind. And this is, if you think about it, what happens anytime we see currencies collapse throughout history. It goes slowly, 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 and then all at once, right? But it is interesting because we are faced with something we've never, ever seen before. Now, I always like to bring you a positive, right? So what's the positive from all of this? Well, when you're talking about the farmers, you're talking about food costs going up, it might be a good idea to get some canned foods or some flash frozen vegetables, things like that you could store and that you can eat later on, right? Another thing when it comes to, you know, zippers. Well, obviously, you know, we did the story on shoes, and it might be a good idea to go buy a pair of shoes because it was some insane amount. I don't remember. It was like 85% of the shoes come from another country in Asia. And so when, you know that, you just buy an extra pair of shoes for yourself or your kids because we know that this isn't going to heal itself tomorrow. This is going to take months, if not, like the manager at my local Costco said, years. He has been told years. They've taken out 30% of the steel structures, the shelving in Costco, and spread out the center to make it look like they're full. But he says they've been told by their corporate offices, don't expect this to come back for a couple of years. So these are just a really good opportunity to think ahead, prepare now, and then take advantage, reap the reward for being prepared, because then what you do when everybody else is losing their minds because they didn't want to listen, they wanted to roll their eyes, then you could buy their stuff. All right, guys, I hope you got something out of this. It is wild times, but guys, for as scary as it is and scary as it's going to get, honestly, that means there's that many more amazing opportunities, and I just want to be able to find them for you. Now, of course, we can't talk about those opportunities yet because they don't sit here. Today's the day to be meek, be prepared, and keep your eyes moving. Keep your head swiveling, on a swivel, looking for opportunities. They're out there. but there's going to be way more, just like in 2009, 2010, to pick up. All right, guys, with that being said, thank you so much. The Economic Ninja is out.